Scotty and Boaz Rehash, Episode 5.
And we're back with the Clash of Clans for the fans in the stands. This is Boaz, and I'm here with my pal,
Boaz.
Mr. Scotty.
Hey.
What's up, Mr. Scotty?
Not a lot. We just got done. I better just talk about this right away because we just finished a little over half hour ago with a pretty epic war against Texas. And it's been really busy. It's been a busy week for me and the co-leaders in the clan, Matt, Bazinga, T-Skits, Coop. I'll think of them as Sass and everybody and if I left somebody out, sorry. They've been in there like really helping run the stuff, and so Matt was really doing a lot of commanding at the end, and Bazinga too, kind of saying, all right, yeah, that person has this, and really paying attention. So I kind of came in and wasn't really contributing much, except for with some attacks that weren't the best ever. Mm-hmm. But anywho, we get done 105 to 101.
Nice.
The timer hit, and the timer was stuck at 0. There were 3 people attacking from their side, attacking us at the end, and it kept going past the buzzer, and there was one of ours on the other side. And
it's always so fun.
The cool thing was, and I was waiting for it because I knew someone had said that the leader was cooking a drag lava hound, lava pig army, and I was the only one that hadn't been starred up top. Mm-hmm. And so I knew it was going to be me, so I waited and watched it, and it was awesome because he got a star. He got a star. It was dragons, and I think he only did one lava hound. I guess I could look back at it, but my camp held, and I was really happy because it got in there, and dragons got the town hall and just started to spread out. But my air D was taking them out, and it came down to a dragon, and it wasn't 50%. So they managed to get in, but they didn't manage to get out. So it was pretty cool, and so it was really close, and everybody was going in and doing really well, and communicating and picking up the bottom stars because it was a really tight war. Of course, we used more attacks. Our average destruction was 91%. Theirs was 87.
91, wow. Yeah,
and we did, let me look at this here. We had 77 out of 80 attacks. 2 of them are that didn't go were the TH6. So
you got 105 stars in a 40-person war?
Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, and they had 101. They only used 68 of their attacks. They kind of boxed themselves in a little bit. I think there were a couple people that didn't participate, but the bottom guy in our clan is just an alternate to try to bring down it's COCK. Mm-hmm. That's SEECO.
Oh yeah.
That's how it's spelled.
One of the Phantom Warlords tentacles.
Yeah. And so he didn't attack. There just wasn't anything for him to get. So we had one attack that wasn't used, which was really awesome.
Wow.
Really good participation, and I think these guys were really good attackers. Our bullets are we have more bullets, a lot of times, and our bullets are getting better. Mm-hmm. Every attack counts, and what people can do, way to the bottom. And this was a war, by the way. I'm thinking of there were relatively same 9s and 10s, but I believe they had, I think they only had a couple TH7s if I'm not mistaken. So it was a really hard match for the lower guys, but they crushed it.
Sweet.
So yeah, so that's what's been happening. Very, very exciting. We love it when the wars are like that.
Well, speaking of wars in the True Sons, we've been doing really well. We just ended a 23-win streak.
Holy shit!
Yeah, and that's warring nonstop back to back. So it was like almost 2 months without losing a war. We've just been getting really good. Like, we just kind of have developed now to the point where we're 3-starring a lot of the Town Hall 9s, which was kind of the next step for us. Pretty much all the Town Hall 10s get 2-starred.
Did you listen to the last episode?
I listened to, I think, I made it through the first half of it or something.
Did I 3-starred a 10?
Yeah, or a couple 10s, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to bring that up. It was a proud moment for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've 3-starred a couple Town Hall 10s, but they were way preemie Town Hall 10s, not maxed out, not matched up to what they should be.
They had the low infernos, but anyways, keep going. I'm sorry. That's a huge, crazy win.
Yeah, we it was weird because we started with a 9-win streak, and then we hit Red at Dusk, and then we would win most of them. We got another 9-win streak, and then we hit a point. We had a push, and then right after a push, we got on kind of a losing streak. We lost 3 out of 5 wars, and we were just what the hell is going on? And then I was thinking that now only the clans that were good were going to be warring, the good war clans, because if you lose most of your wars, sometimes you'll when I would do donation hopping and stuff, I would look in some of the clans war logs, and they just be 12 losses all
really?
right there, and if you're losing most of the wars, it's a huge drain on your resources. If you win the wars, I mean, you're coming out ahead, but it's not you're gaining a ton. You're making back what you spent. Usually plus a little bit, or maybe just barely making back what you spent. If you're a person that donates to a lot of the war castles and stuff, you might even come out behind. Come out in the red, even if you. Yeah, get a 800.
I'm still saving for that P.E.K.K.A because it drains. I mean, I'm at 4,166 donations this cycle.
Nice,
and that's not even trying. That's just probably half dragons.
Well, so I was thinking that was going to be the thing. Then it was going to be just much harder. And when we would do well, a hard war is really fun, but we were in a really bad skid after the push. And I probably talked about this after it happened, that when we pushed, we recruit a bunch of people, and then the people you recruit tend to be, high trophy people, high level people who you have no idea how good they are at war.
Yeah.
And so then after the push, we had all these really high level people, really, really good bases and stuff. And we got these incredibly hard wars, and so many of the people we recruited were terrible war attackers. So we just had to boot them all out. We kicked out so many people.
What is the difference? What do you think the difference is in that? Because that's really interesting.
Well, a farming attack, I think it's completely different, because a farming attack, you use a cheap army. You're just going for resources. You're going for, maybe 50% or not even worrying about the trophies at all. And then in a war attack, weren't these
the high trophy count people?
Yeah, that's true. They were high trophy count people, but they were probably using balloons and minions and stuff to do the pushing. And some of those people, those really high level bases are, a lot of it is gems that go into, getting that high and stuff. And so we keep an eye on the gold grab, but yeah, so that is a good point that, to be high up in trophies, you have to be, pretty good at attacking, because you're gaining, you're having to go in and hit really strong bases and get trophies.
But I suppose you guys are aiming for 3 stars, and whereas you can push trophies just by adding a star.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when I trophy push, I'm usually just getting 1 star at a time, unless it's some really awesome revenge that I happen to catch someone without a shield or something. But yeah, it's usually like 1 star at a time, and I use balloons and minions, and then I use go wee wee or go wipe in the wars, and so it's just a totally different type of attack. And so some of these people too, it was like they were super high level, like max Town Hall 10s, so it really wasn't that hard for them to be in like Master 2 or Master 1 or whatever.
Oh, because they could hold their defense.
Yeah, because their defense is so strong. And then if you're max Town Hall 10 to hold your to pull your weight in war, you need to be such a strong attacker. Like we have maybe 4 or 5 max Town Hall 10s in our clan, and they can all 2-star other max Town Hall 10s. They all jump on the very top guys on the other side and 2-star them. So, I mean, if you can't do that, then you're totally dragging your clan down because you're making a tougher matchup, and then you can't
Right.
hold up your end of the bargain. So yeah, we had like this horrible skid. We ended up having to get rid of so many people. There was just like all these arguments within the clan. Everyone was stressed out and stuff. And so then we got, we got rid of all the flotsam and jetsam and started recruiting some, strong war attackers and stuff and got back on the horse. But I was thinking that it was going to be a thing, that now wars are going to be so much harder, because why war if you lose all your wars? Like at the very beginning, everyone wants to war because they want to find out what it's like. But if you're a clan that never wins, then it's just such a huge drain,
Yeah.
But I guess that wasn't the case, because then we hit this 23 win streak, and we were just like, what the hell? And there are only really a few in there that were even any kind of competition at all. And so when we did lose, it kind of snuck up on us. We lost 75-72.
Wow.
The other clan it wasn't that amazing. Like we didn't go into it and say, oh man, this is going to be a really tough one.
Do you think it was coming off a push mindset, or like a push mindset?
Well, this was at the end of the 23 win streak. So this was this was much, much later. But I think we might have gotten a little bit complacent because we were so used to just winning everything, and not really worrying about it too much. And so it definitely kind of snuck up on us. Like we were.
Was it just they were good attackers, or was it?
Yeah,
you guys
they were good attackers, but it was also we didn't do so hot. It was we got like 72 stars. I think probably in like a 35. We were doing 35 for a while. I think we've been doing 40 now. So I think it was probably 72 stars in a 35-star or a 35-man war. And they had, very strong bases, good attackers. They were a Chinese clan. I think there might have been some, questionable tactics involved on their end. Although that's not as huge of an advantage as it used to be. But there was some attacks where we're like, oh, really? How did you know that was happening when no one has scouted it,
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that... People,
and they're not in your clan because they have Chinese character names.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And we don't let anyone. We have a pretty straightforward policy. Like during, war or prep day, once the, I guess we're pretty much always in war or prep day. So when someone requests, we let them in, because there was some people in our clan who's like, no, don't let anyone in during war or prep day. And it's like, dude, we're never going to gain anyone if we
if you're constantly warring.
Yeah, that doesn't work. So we let them in and we say, how did you find us? And if they, they'll either say, oh, I know such and such, or, there's really 3 answers that are, it's pretty much always either I'm in such and such as global, and then that person says, confirms, oh yeah, they're in my global, or they say I'm friends with such and such, or they say I went to this clan and I looked in their war log and I saw that you beat them by a whole bunch, so I came to your clan instead. So
that's an interesting way to find a clan.
Yeah, that's probably our number, or maybe not number 1, but that and global. That might even be bigger than global. That might be our top recruiting thing. Just people coming and being like, oh, I joined, such and such clan because I knew someone in it. And then I looked in their war log and you destroyed them. So I was like, well, the True Sons are probably better. So I'm going to go over there. And so we always figure,
that's
if
a
someone
really
was a
interesting,
spy,
kind of way to recruit, or if you're doing that, you get the people, you're up against tough clans. Mm-hmm. Then you get the people that you just beat. Mm-hmm. They've, somebody who wants to be in a good clan. They've joined that. Then they see that you guys have done better, mm-hmm. and want to be part of that, and are probably good themselves. Mostly, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and
that's
usually,
really cool.
I mean, they're pretty confident in themselves if they want to go to a war clan that they think is going to be really strong. They want
to win wars. They want, right.
No one wants to embarrass themselves by going to a high, a strong clan and then sucking. So, but yeah, we would do a lot of direct recruitment where it doesn't happen as much anymore, but it used to, where we beat a clan down and then players from their clan or a player from their clan would just come over to our clan afterwards and be like, I want to be in your clan. My clan
what's
sucks.
Your war record sitting at?
68 wins.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we I think Reddit Troopers and those guys are closing in on 80 now. So we're 12 behind or whatever.
Well, we've been running into these clans that have 50 war wins, mm-hmm. and crushing them. It's like the times that we get the 50, it's like, oh, and then mm-hmm. it turns out that it's a pretty formulaic, like in the old days when it was like mm-hmm.
everybody
went down and, and they would
box themselves in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like they must have went up against clans that are exactly like that, mm-hmm. Many times.
Not very imaginative bases, the same old kind of stuff.
And I'm looking at, and I'm going, well, there's 50, there's, 50. And I'm like, well, L's only been around since July, and our war log is, I'm going to look right now. We just we're on a really good streak right now. A draw. I'm popping into the game right now. Mm-hmm. We have won the last 5 wars, I believe.
Nice.
I think it's our biggest streak. One of them was a draw, or no, it was 5, and then there was a draw before that. But we've been doing less numbers. Mm-hmm. Because I think between like Kent Farmhouse and Zod and L, people have kind of found a place to go if they want to mm-hmm. go somewhere and kind of move between. And and so we've been running with a 45-40 war. Let's see here. I always look at the wrong spot because you go to the, oh, damn it, the info clan. You got to go to the clan thing. Look at the war log. Okay. We are on a 5-win streak. We had a draw right before that. So, but we've just been really pulling it together, doing some really great attacks. And so not so great attacks. I had one where I double dropped a golem. My whole strategy, it was 3 different, I was coming on 3 different sides, mm-hmm. and I was so excited I accidentally tapped the thing twice.
Oh, that's awful.
And I'm going, oh man, my whole strategy of sending mm-hmm. my Velks in and kind of the freeze, how everything was going to work, mm-hmm. it was like, oh.
It's always the worst when painful. It's like you have it planned out and then one thing goes wrong and from that moment that the entire attack is lost.
You're
so
like,
frustrating.
I will be amazed if something comes out of this. Well, mm-hmm. What was I going to say? An attack I did tonight. Here's a really good tip. So I scouted it. I thought, okay, I'm gonna. It's a Town Hall 9. It only had 1 star, so we really needed stars. And the top guys did all the top attacks. So it was like it was still number 7. But I had a really nice plan going into it. I scouted it. I had intel on it. and I started the battle, and I realize I'm like trying to put my troops down, and things are going, but I'm coming from the bottom corner, and there's an army camp there. And I didn't take into account the fact that when I'm about to go into this war or to this attack, it's going to be really hard for me to drop my troops because it's way on the bottom and I'm zoomed out.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And my plan was to come from right there to drop center. And so I'm having a real hard time, and I ended up, I 2-starred it. It could have been a 3, and I just feel like had my troops come out on time or in the right order a little bit, because I was distracted by that and then would forget to drop the spell at the right time.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, especially in the bottom, because all your troops are blocking it. All your troops on your screen are blocking it. But that's what really sucks, because everything is so, has to be in such a perfect order and perfect timing that if you try to drop something, and if you accidentally hit it in a red area, meaning like too far, towards the woods or too close to, a building or something, and it doesn't come out, you usually don't realize it right away, because you're like, okay, boom, I'm gonna drop this here, boom, I'm gonna drop this here, boom, and then you're like, wait, the golem didn't drop, oh crap, and then you got to go back and do it, and then the golem's behind the wizards or something, and then you're just totally screwed. So yeah, that really sucks. It'd be nice if you could tell right away that it didn't, like, maybe if does it make a sound when it drops or something? I still never used the sound, so
I I didn't this war. That might be.
Does it make a sound? It probably does make. It makes like a bloop or something when it drops.
But everything's going on so fast, anyways.
Yeah, that's true. So many other sounds going on.
I just love it. You look back at the replays and you're like, wow, that really looks like I knew what I was doing. Well, that was really good timing. I wouldn't know it was me if it was actually like, if I was watching this, I'm going, man, wow. And in the whole time behind the scenes, I'm going, okay, fuck, gotta drop it. Oh, wait, no, did I put this? And then like, oh, wait, my king, my queen, and it's just like full on, okay, this is craziness. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so then I watch it. I'm like, wow, that looks calm and relaxed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is always. I had one the other day where I 2-starred like max Town Hall 9 with like all level 9 walls and some level 10 walls and stuff, and I have a bad habit of screwing up my jump spells, like, in the heat of the moment, because, when you drop a rage or a heal or something, it doesn't have to be super, precise, but jump has to be so precise where you drop it if you want to get over more than one wall. And so this attack, I dropped a jump in this perfect spot so that it covered 6 compartments. Like, it was an air defense that had walls all around it, and then and so just dropping it in that exact spot, and I was like, the whole attack depended on it. So I was like, oh man, if I screw this up, I'm totally screwed. But I did it right in the right spot. So 6 compartments were all open. And so my heroes and P.E.K.K.A.s just went and jumped into all the compartments and jumped, back across.
That's
and
sweet.
Yeah, it was so awesome. And
I
it would have been
somebody did that. I think it was Mailman.
Mm-hmm.
Just a jump in a right spot like that, and it they're not wall breakers. You're gonna have like way better luck. And I think with the jump spell, not only is it like delicate like placement, but the timing. If your troops get a different target in mind, and you don't drop it fast enough, they're going to be, farther away and not as close to the nearest thing. So if you're a little bit late on it, you've lost control of,
like, a millimeter. Like, if I had been a millimeter in any direction, it would have only gone into like 3 compartments or something, and totally they wouldn't have reached the middle at all, or it wouldn't have, reached where they were. So they would have to break. That's always so frustrating when you drop a jump spell and it's like just not quite close enough to the troops. So instead of jumping over, they sit there bashing the wall, and the jump spell is like just out of range. And oh my god, jump spells are
I try not to make
bane
it
of my existence.
I really try to use it in a corner where I know for sure I'm going to be able to do it. I guess I very rarely gamble that way. Maybe I'll try doing that. I was thinking,
either use it to hit, multiple compartments. Like if there's a spot where it's going to do a whole bunch of compartments, or I try to save it and use it on the way out of the middle. Like if too many troops go into the middle, I try to save it and then use it so that they can jump back out of the middle on the other side. But if my wall breakers don't break through to the middle, then I have to use it, earlier than I want, and then don't have it to get the guys out and stuff. But I've just been trying lately to just get just the right amount of troops in the middle and have everyone else go around the sides. I mean,
that's
when I'm trying to go for a 3-star.
I think that's the key is, and I've been trying to send my Velks into the center.
Yeah.
And T-Skits and Matt and everybody who helped out kind of gave me some pointers in chat, directly and indirectly, said spread out the golems. And now I'm finding that if I'm just thinking of them as the attention, just make sure the attention's on them. I haven't made it. I would try to get them into the center. And I still want them to go to the center, but I want them to take the long way to the center.
Well, that's what I used to try to tell you, because you would get all them into the center and you'd rage the golems, and I was like, dude, the golems are not they're not for attack, they're just for defense. Don't even think about them as someone that's going to be dealing damage. Just have them be the tank and then drop the rage on the ones that the P.E.K.K.A.s or the wizards or the heroes and stuff. And so that's the way to go. If you can spread them out and maybe make it so either maybe just one of them gets in the middle or something, and the other two go around.
And a lot of times
it's
the Infernos that are so scary. But if you're sending in some higher level troops with that, like the Velks, they'll last for a while against those Inferno towers. And it's and if you have your free spell on there and you buy your time, it works out. But yeah, it's just, I think it's the Inferno fear. It's like the terrified of, it's like get the big things in there so that
well, it totally depends if they're single or multi, because if they're single, then they just, the P.E.K.K.A.s and golems are just totally screwed, because anything with large hit points, it increases as time goes on or whatever, and so it can just suck out the health of a high hit point troop so quickly if it's a single one. And so what always screws with me is if there's a single and a multi, because if they're both one or the other, then I can kind of plan my attack around it. But if it's a single and a multi, then I know like one's going to screw all the wizards and one's going to screw the golem or the P.E.K.K.A.s or whatever. But it's actually very strange. I used to have to go against Town Hall 10s because we have so many strong Town Hall 9s that we would match up with the clans with way more Town Hall 10s than us. And lately we haven't been. So your straight
across was a 10.
Yeah, it was always a 10, and now it's usually a 9. And it's which is such a huge change. And it's weird because it's like when I first started doing Clan Wars, I'd have to be hitting 10s, and now that I'm more experienced and stuff, I have to hit 9s, because our Town Hall 10s don't want us to hit the 10s, because they want stuff for themselves to hit. And so my goal is to either 2-star a super high, totally maxed out Town Hall 9 that's like across from me, or go a little bit lower and try to 3-star them. So usually, and I've been super busy, so I haven't been able to be on right at the beginning of wars. And like the war we're doing today, I went on 3 hours in and we had 60 stars already.
Holy crap.
I was like, God damn it. so then it's only, so I was getting so many war stars. I got to 150 war stars after maybe 30 war. Well, I don't know how the math works on that, but really quickly. And then, so in the same amount of time that I got 150, now I'm at 220 or something, because now when I go on, everything's already 2-starred, and so I just try to 3-star someone, and that doesn't always happen that I'm able to 3-star a 2-starred guy. So a lot of wars I just get 2-star attacks and don't gain any stars to my war achievement. But I do always, one thing that used to happen at the beginning was I would sometimes have 0-star attacks, and that hasn't happened in like so long now. So I always get all the war loot. So my war looted, I'm at like 400 million, or well, not 400 million, 40 million or 4 million, whatever. Four at the
achievements.
Yeah, and the cheat. So I'm almost halfway to the 3rd star of the war loot achievement. So like it's like 100 million, I think, that you're trying to go for, and so I'm at like 40 million now. So
you mean for the 2nd star or the 1st star?
No, for the 3rd star. I'm halfway to the 3rd star.
It's what is it? 100 or 1 billion?
No, it can't be one. It must be 100 million, because a billion.
Okay, 100 million.
Yeah, I think it must be 100 million, which is crazy because that's a lot. I think Jungle Insider doesn't even have 100 million. He doesn't even have the 3rd star on the farming achievement, the gold grab achievement. So
see, I'm only at 100 is it 17 million? It's hard to read these things. 17 million.
Yeah.
But I haven't collected my million, so it would be 8. It'd be almost 19, and I've only got 163 war stars.
Yeah, I have like 220, and so mine have been going up so much slower now, which is kind of a bummer. But what matters is the clan winning and stuff, and we've been winning, and I've learned how to 3-star Town Hall 9s, Town Hall 9s that aren't maxed out, and don't have a really excellent or unique base design. I can 3-star them pretty reliably now, as long as everything goes according to plan, and as long as I have both heroes. But the key was to not go heavy with P.E.K.K.A.s or not go heavy with witches, but have a balance. So like now I do 2 golems, 2 P.E.K.K.A.s, and then like 4 witches or something, instead of doing I used to do 3 P.E.K.K.A.s, or even at the beginning 4 P.E.K.K.A.s, and then like no witches, or like 1 witch or something. Or then if I did go wee, with no P.E.K.K.A.s and all witches, that's just harder for me to wrap my head around. Like it's nice for me to do a couple P.E.K.K.A.s because I get them to the center to clear out the middle, and then all the witches go around the sides, and and are the tank for the wizards around the sides and stuff. And
nice.
But the heroes, man, that's what they're everything. They're so freaking strong. Like they're so, and those abilities. Jeez.
I gotta say, I'm having feeling inadequate with my heroes.
How come?
Because it's taken me forever to upgrade them. I think I focused on the P.E.K.K.A.s and the Velks, and my queen just got to 14. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, "Hey, if we're gonna push, you're gonna need your queen to 15."
Mm-hmm. And that's a huge plateau there. That 15, getting them both to 15. I remember when I got both mine to 15, I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Because that's that next ability. Now 20 is the next one, but I'm at like 17 with them now, so that'll be a while.
Yeah, and I'm like, I need to focus on the Dark Elixir, and I've been doing hog raids and that type of stuff.
Yeah, I heard that in the you're doing hog raids with Scotty?
Yeah, all the time.
Really? I mean, in Clan Wars or in farming?
No, in farming.
Oh, in farm. Okay, I thought you had meant in Clan Wars.
I've been going in, and now that the loot is finally back to normal levels, I think.
Thank God.
Oh my God. I honestly, in the heat of the great economic depression of the last update, was like, I don't know if I can keep playing this if I can't find any elixir, if this is how it's going to be.
Well, it seemed like obvious to me that wasn't how it was going to stay, because whenever an update happens, like right afterwards, there's bad loot because everyone spends it on, they've been saving it up and they spend it on whatever the new stuff is that came out. But this was so much worse because the having
Popular
walls
Boaz.
cost elixir is what really,
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a massive change. Then people never have to sit on any resources. Because it used to be, even if there's no gold around, people would have like 400,000 elixir and stuff, just sitting there. And so that was so weird going around and not having any loot. But so many people were like, oh yeah, Supercell, like, you totally screwed up, man. Like, you messed up the loot system. Why did you screw up the economy after this update and stuff? And I was like, dude, you guys, it's not something that Supercell did during the update. It's everyone's behavior it's the natural thing. Everyone saved up and then they spent all their stuff on the new barracks.
The Tickle Me Elmo. The Tickle Me Elmo. The thing that everybody had to have.
Exactly, the best Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
But and then walls and stuff, and so it just seemed like it's just a natural consequence, and it's gonna revert back. But I wonder if during the maintenance, like the next maintenance break, the economy got so much better so quickly that I'm wondering if they changed the timing on dead bases, because it used to be, if a base was inactive for, I have no, like maybe a week or something, then it would get taken out of rotation or pushed way down in the rotation, so it'd be less likely to. Yeah, because there's so many bases out there that are abandoned, and if they constantly came up, people would just only be doing, collector mine raids, because there would be so many dead bases that it wouldn't make sense to make full armies and and try to penetrate to the middle and get storages and stuff. And so they have some kind of, I don't know, I have no clue what the actual algorithm is, but it's like if a base has been inactive for a certain amount of time, it becomes harder and becomes less and less likely to come up in your
the sum of the square
search.
root divided by 3.
But so that made me wonder if maybe they tweaked it so that those dead bases came up a little more frequently, or something, or maybe it was just a coincidence that people, right at that moment started to not come on as much again, or they had bought all the new stuff and so it was coming back, or
because if the dead bases didn't kind of leave a little bit, wouldn't you just walk into a base and just see tombstones everywhere?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. And just things just overflowing, so far overflowing and stuff. But I guess they would never really be overflowing so far because everyone would be hitting them all the time. So yeah, that's a good point. There would be tombstones everywhere. Yeah, I never thought about it like that. So yeah, they are definitely out of some. I don't know if they ever get completely out of rotation or if they just become super, super hard to find after a while, or how
because there's got to
works.
be millions of dead bases out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's got to be so many, and a lot of people that rush and then abandon it for a different account or something too. And there was a interesting tweet from, I don't know if it was like White Lightning or someone, that was a public service announcement that said, please, if you're going to abandon your account or whatever, please upgrade all of your mines and collectors before doing so. It's like, that's such a good point.
That's awesome.
When you find a completely abandoned base that hasn't been used for, logged onto forever, but all their mines and pumps are like level 4 or something, someone that gemmed to a Town Hall 10 or something, and all their pumps and mines suck, then there's just nothing. It's this thing with empty infernos, empty expos, tombstones everywhere, but no loot, because the a-hole has such super low pumps and mines. So it'd be nice if they use their gems to pump up their collectors before they said goodbye to their account.
Hey, fun fact, we learned something today in our clan during the war. I had a level 4 P.E.K.K.A. in my castle, and I can never, we talk about, who's going to donate, the P.E.K.K.A. or whatever. And so we put on there just in case somebody accidentally, if somebody new is in there and thinks, I've got a P.E.K.K.A. I put in like T-Skits P.E.K.K.A. And it's like, I can't ever write that without like giggling, in the, like war. And I put T-Skits P.E.K.K.A. Because it just sounds so funny to me. Anyways, But I had mailman's Pekka in my castle today. And we tested whether or not when it is upgraded in a camp to the next level.
Yeah.
It was just about to finish. God, this is a really dirty conversation.
Just say Pecker instead of Pekka, too.
Pecker.
Make it better.
I had the mailman's Pecker in my castle. Oh, God. And, okay, here we go. Okay, so I had it in it. It finished, and it did not change in my castle.
It didn't.
Yeah. So
I guess I wouldn't think that it would, but it does change in your camps, which is kind of weird because that doesn't seem like that makes sense either. But if it's in someone else's castle, then it doesn't change.
I thought it would be interesting if it's like tied, somehow to that player or whatnot. But nope, it did not. So that's a fun fact for all you out there in Radioland. If you're thinking that you're giving away a cheaper troop and they're going to get a more expensive one, we're going to have to remake it.
Well, someone was telling me, someone in, I think, Kent Farmhouse, I don't remember who it was now, so I apologize to the person, but they said that they're upgrading their Velks to max, I think. So they filled up all of their their Dark Barracks with Velks, and then so they queued them all up, and then once the upgrade happened, then they sold them all back, and so they made a bunch of Dark Elixir, whatever the difference was in each one. And they said they had done that with Wizards too. They filled up all of when their Wizards made it to 5 or 6 or something, they filled up all their barracks with them and then sold them all back after they're upgraded and made a bunch of Elixir that way. So that was an interesting tip.
Yeah, I've done that with bombers. That's the moneymaker right there.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, you're about to finish your bomber upgrade? Here's a public service announcement.
Yeah, that's true. That would be the troop
castle
to do it with.
Full, or your barracks once your army camp is full.
Yeah, make sure the camp's full first.
Yeah, before you do this, otherwise you're gonna have a lot of bombers. Fill your castle, fill your barracks full. And let them finish, and then you'll make a bunch of easy money. Mm-hmm. It's like a free good raid. I mean, especially at the higher levels.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you're going to max bombers. So I'll have to remember that when I get to Town Hall 10 and start upgrading troops again. Because I just did use my lab for the first time in forever. I upgraded
You brushed the dust off the lab.
Yep, I upgraded my fire pigs to level 2. And I was hoping to get him to level 3 because I was just like, oh, that'd be cool to be the guy who randomly has maxed ones, but no, you got to be Town Hall 10 to get him to level 3. But we're having a push coming up in a couple of weeks, so I always do balloons and minions, so I figured that maybe I might want to mix those in there, and they could be helpful potentially. So yeah. I wanted to level them up so I can try using them in the push. And I assume that they've got to be, it's the first troop they've come out with in like a year, so they've got to be good. I haven't used them at all yet, though.
You haven't used them at all?
No, and I haven't really seen
I didn't either. I was going to do that after the last podcast, and I think I had one, but I didn't have an air army. And we've been talking about doing a push, too, in House of L versus House of Zod.
Oh, nice.
But Boneyard said he didn't know if they were going to because we have more top-heavy people.
That sounds pretty much par for the course for House of Zod.
And
just wanted to wuss out and not meet up with L in the competition.
I thought I couldn't believe that, but and this was one of my concerns, I think, and I think it's always been. And if there's a system out there to do this, if we actually took, anybody that, both clans, and you looked at every TH, and if you had like a number or like a percentage that a TH would factor in, and how much they contributed to it, or they have to start the trophy push, like a TH7 has to be at like silver 2 or something. Something where
set a different threshold for each town hall level.
Yeah, so that way like you don't have, you can tailor it to the specific clan. Like you could have a clan with like 10 or half TH10s and have a system where you could figure out, theoretically, like if you did a trophy push, where you could actually get to, or where the potential would be, or a realistic thing, or where you start. Because you want TH7s to start at a range where, in a normal time frame, it maxes out at a certain place, and then just measure overall collected trophies.
Yeah, well, it's just so much easier to measure total. But I mean, memo to House of Zod. Like, I understand why they're scared to face L in war, because L is higher level bases and stuff, and L would, obviously crush Zod. But in a push, I mean, like, there's Town Hall 7s and 8s and stuff that reach champion. Like that. It's not that huge of a. If you guys have more Town Hall 10s or whatever, like, it's not as big of an advantage, like if overall, L is way better than Zod, then it wouldn't be super fair. But I mean, if L has, some lower guys too, some Town Hall 7s and stuff, like, you could still do a push against each other, a straight up push against each other, and have it be relatively fair, because
that's what I think. I mean, I look at, even a TH10, in a TH, okay, so you've got a bunch of TH8s and TH10s. If everybody's gaining 300, 600 trophies, your rank would be a good. I don't think they're that far off in terms of matching.
Yeah, I
really don't. I think that there's probably very, very similar players in both. But
I think it's another convenient excuse to duck the competition with L.
Well,
but that's just my view from the outside.
And I would like it if you could do a trophy push contest with different types of clans, but maybe go by a certain number.
Yeah, like have a modifier, like a handicapping system of some kind. That would be really cool if there was a way, and even in war, if there was a handicapping system of some kind where you spot them 8 stars or something, because if there was a way that Supercell could figure that out, you match up with a clan, but one is a certain amount better, so they start out with a free 6 stars or 10 stars or something, and then you can
that's usually the bottom bases.
That's true.
If you get matched up with somebody, but yeah, but if I think it would be cool if you had people where you could actually do like a trophy push that was like easily, with relative ease against different clans. I know that League of Clans used, I can't remember what the determining factor was, but it wasn't
of that.
It was the levels. It was the levels of the people in the clan. I think that's.
That was it. That's how they determine the division or whatever, which makes sense. But I wasn't a huge fan of the League of Clans thing that only the top 25 players got counted. Because
and we wouldn't do that. We would count everybody.
Yeah, because first of all, if everyone's counted, you can see who's ahead just by looking at the trophy scores. Who has more trophies is the one who's in the lead. Whereas with League of Clans, like, someone would need to go in and calculate it and come out, so you could only find out who was ahead after they, went in and crunched the numbers and came out with the ranks and stuff. So it wasn't like a, constantly, up to date kind of thing. And it just seems like it would be kind of disheartening for the lower people in the clan if they're trying to push and they're not factoring in at all.
It's like your overall rank where your clan gets, and then there's that other contest. But I think that was pre-war days too, where it was like not everybody wanted to push, but that's also true that the top people even if you're low and you want to push and a top person doesn't, he's not going to drop trophies all the way down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If
That's
you
true.
take the top of the actual, rankings.
But if you're pushing fairly rarely, it's not, I think it's not that big a deal to make it mandatory. Like if you're pushing frequently, then it's kind of a-hole move to make it, required to push. But if you're pushing every, 4 months or something like that, then it's everyone has that in them to do it at least that often. So we're going to be doing a trophy push again in the True Sons. The last time we did it was in, I think, July, like beginning of July, because I was in Mexico. I remember we got to Mexico for vacation at the very end of the push, and I hit Master 2, which was my goal.
Oh, nice.
On like the last day, and I was in frickin' Mexico on the Wi-Fi. Like, okay, I really need to not be playing Clash of Clans, but I need to get to my goal before the push is over. So I ended up making it to Master 2. But so this time, there's people in the clan who been wanting to push, and most people didn't, just because we had been planning on pushing, and then a bunch of people were starting school, and so we decided against it. And now there's everyone. It's just the clan is not as active as it used to be because people are busy. So we use all the war attacks still, but a lot of people just come on for the war attacks pretty much, and maybe a little bit besides that, which is what I've been doing also. I've been pretty busy, so I always use my war attacks, but I don't do too much besides that. But so some people wanted to push, and we were just like, well, we should, it's been so long, and a lot of people didn't really want to, but it makes sense. And
right.
The bad thing is, though, this was going to be our push to the top 200 because 2 times ago we pushed, and the goal was top 500, and we hit 490. Then last time it was I don't know if we had a clear goal, but we got 260 was what we made it to, and so it seemed like a clear progression that next time we would aim for top 200. But since a lot of people are sorry, I just got a text from work. It totally threw me off my train of thought. Since a lot of people are not going to be real
Boaz
active
on the clock, 24/7.
yeah, on call. Awesome.
So this is. He interrupts the podcast. People at work, if you listen to this is how dedicated this man is. He's dedicated. You're lucky to have him.
Yeah, screw you guys. All my staff, just don't call me for the next 2 hours. But yeah, so it's kind of a bummer because so many people are not going to be able to really give it their all, I think. So it's we should be going for top 200, but myself, my max is Master 2, but I think I'm probably not going to be able to get much more than Master 3 because we're pushing the 20th to the 26th of October, and my baby is due on the 27th. So I don't really know how much,
Well,
I don't know
when it's vigilant. See, that's what you can be like, honey, I'm staying up just so I can make sure everything's okay. I'm stressed. I'm stressed playing, honey. I'm stressed playing.
Why haven't you put together the crib? Well, it's a very important trophy push. We're trying to get top 200. I have no idea what that means, so shut up. I think that's what I would get.
Yeah.
So, it was bad enough when I was
You're trophy pushing while she's baby pushing. Where's my husband? They're almost in the top 200. He'll be here as soon as he can.
Yeah, it's kind of like in solidarity. You're pushing, I want to push too. That's But if she was annoyed that I was, playing on our vacation in Mexico, then I think that she would be extremely annoyed if I'm playing when she's,
Yeah, I suppose
having
you can't be like, honey, I have 2 babies.
Actually 3 because I have a mini account too. So
yeah.
it's a hard life. But
That's how
But
dedicated I'm going to be.
I mean, that's the thing about pushing is whenever, anytime that I'm not pushing, it's not Clash of Clans isn't really like an obligation, like I have to do my war attacks, but that's, maybe 20 minutes each, during a 24-hour period, cause with the scouting and stuff and watching replays and everything. And then the attack. And then when you're farming, it doesn't really matter. You can even put it down in the middle of a farming raid if something comes up or something. It's not the end of the world. But when you're pushing, like I always warn my wife in advance when we have a trophy push. So she only has a vague idea of what it is. She just knows that it's the time when I'm like, when she says something to me, I can't look up from the game, at certain times and stuff. And I'm like, no, this is an obligation, I really don't want to be doing this right now.
This is bigger than me.
Yeah, this is bigger than me. I owe it to my clan, so I wish I could come and do such and such with you, but this is, I'm up here, 2750. I'm just trying to get to my goal. And so that's the thing is the trophy push is what's really puts the strain on the relationship, because it's like, if you're in the middle of a raid, you can't just, put it down and do something else. And also like you don't want to log, like if you're, boosting your barracks and factory and stuff, like you don't want to log off
and get raided
because then it's like, you might as well just stay off, and so yeah, that's like, it's stressful, it's a pain in the butt. So, I am not looking forward to that. And so I've made, I've let everybody know that I'm not going to be able to give it my all, but I think I'll probably just start early and kind of, hover in Master 3, like maybe try to push into Master 2, depending, maybe if the baby comes early and then I'm like up late, with it crying and stuff, but that would suck if I'm in the middle of a raid and then like the baby needs my help and I'm like, oh, sorry, baby, like just, cry for a while. I can't pick you up right now because I'm in the middle of a raid or something. Yeah. I don't think that'd be very good fathering stuff. So
it's the way to start. Yeah. Well, and I really can't wait till these P.E.K.K.A.s are just done.
Well, honestly, are you on your way to 4 right now?
No, it's not on its way to 4 yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting.
Saving up for 4?
Yeah, I'm saving up for 4, and it's taking me, I am not even joking, it's been 2 weeks, because the wars take a lot out of me.
Yeah.
And I've been making that back, but the thing is I can't really farm on the war days, because especially if I'm busy, it's like I need to have dragons kind of at the ready. If people need them. And so I'm getting behind that way. And I think, maybe a good idea would be for me to just do a pre-push. And then maybe during wars, I would have troops ready that I'm going to use for attacks too. So I could actually be pushing throughout the day. Because you get up there and you can make a lot of loot too.
Yeah, definitely. Especially Dark Elixir.
Yeah, if I can get, I'm at 2,200 trophies. If I switch my hogs out and do something a little bit different and maybe try some new strategies, and try to push into masters and stuff, the Dark Elixir starts to add up fast, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
The last time I was there, and I think I've only been there once.
Well, especially if you're using balloons and minions, because you don't use too much Dark Elixir when you're doing that. You go through a lot of elixir for the balloons, and especially if you have a couple dragons in there, you really burn through elixir. But you end up gaining Dark Elixir. But if you're pushing with like Go Wee Wee or even Hogs or something, then you are using so much more Dark Elixir than if you're just using Dark Elixir on minions, So if I started, maybe just pushing a little bit, using some different troop combos. I know I've done it before, see how far my Hogs can get me, and then realize what I've got to do, and grab the loot that I can, and just kind of have fun with it, because I'm not creeping up fast enough. The farming isn't,
keeping it. I think it's rebounding now. I mean, I'm coming out. I'm getting about 1 million a week, or 2 weeks, I guess.
Oh my God, that sucks, man.
Because then I get busy on the weekends and I don't have tons of time to farm, and then I'm up. But the wars, I've got 1 million in my war castle, so I'm only like 200 or 2 million away from the level 4.
How much is a level 4?
7 million.
Jeez. And then so 5 is 8 million?
Yeah, the problem is that my gold starts stacking up really fast, though.
Why aren't you using it on walls?
No. It's all defense. I'm doing all my defenses first.
What are you saving for right now?
I actually have my last archer tower going to 12.
Wow. Oh, but now they just came out with 13.
Yeah.
Is that the
Yeah,
one?
Of course. I had like 3 of them done, and they dropped the price by 1 million. So
those level 12s look awesome, though.
Yeah.
Those are still really cool.
I think my next is going to be my Air D to max. Only because of the Lava Hounds. I think they'll get, better.
When you push, I mean, the vast majority of compositions that you're attacked with are air armies, are just balloon minion armies.
Yeah.
Like once you get up high, most people are using that, and so that's what really, the air defenses and the even the what's them called, the air mines and stuff are super important.
Yeah, and all those are maxed. Mm-hmm. I did all those small ones, did all the bombs. I'm going to do the Air D next. I have 1 maxed. I have 3 more to go. And then I think I'm going to start back on the archer towers and leave the cannons for last.
I'm not a big fan of the look of the maxed cannons. I kind of like the Town Hall 9 cannons better. Yeah,
and with the air attacks, it seems smarter to do the one that can do damage both to ground and air first. And so that's kind of why I did the archer towers. I almost want to start my archer towers going to max. Just for that reason, because then the Lava Hounds, if they come in during war, they're parked over the Air D.
Oh, I forgot that they seek that because I still haven't used them.
Yeah, they seek the Air D, but it's everything else that's shooting them that's just as important, because however many hit points it is, it's going to take it out. If it has enough time over top of it, and I think the rewards of doing the other things might be better, but I will just do my my Air D to max, I think, just to be safe, and then start the archer towers again.
I had a speaking of Lava Hounds, I had one of the guys in my clan. He had a really, really good attack. I mean, a 2-star and a really high level base that was above him and stuff. And I was watching the replay, and he, lures the clan castle, and a Lava Hound pops out. And then you just see, like, he just stops. Like, nothing happens for, like, several seconds because he's like, oh, shit. Like, what do I do? Like, how do I take that out? And so then he composed himself, lured it to the corner and had some, like, surrounded it with some different things and stuff, and ended up taking it out pretty smoothly. And
the Lava
Hound,
awesome it got attack. Taken out pretty well.
Yeah, and then he, because he just, I don't remember how I think he had a witch, so the Lava Hound was attacking the skeletons, and then he, like, surrounded it with some archers and wizards, but it still took so long. I mean, it had so many hit points. Even with max wizards hitting it, it was going down really slowly. Oh. And then when it died, it shot out all the little, fire creature things, which I'm not used to that either.
Yeah,
so that was
I saw that in War. That they used on me.
Yeah.
So what do you think if they put one in your clan cast? I mean, if you, like me, you go in with like my Go Velk Wizard Witch combo, I don't even pay attention to the clan castle.
Yeah.
I mean, the positioning of it I pay attention to, where it's at. But whatever's in there, good luck.
I usually don't lure. I mean, if it's towards the edge, then it's kind of like, oh crap, like I should probably lure it. But I usually bring a lightning spell. But it's really nice to know what's in it. And when I'm doing, when I'm coming in late to the war and just going for 3 stars, then I'll always know what's in all the clan castles because someone's already 2-starred all the bases. And so the big thing is if they have a witch, you want to bring a lightning spell for it because like a single witch can just destroy your entire army because they just keep so many skeletons. And if your P.E.K.K.A.s or heroes or something without splash get caught up in the skeletons and then just keep getting hit by all the defenses, like you can get like a 20% or something if it happens right. So that's but then if they have a dragon or something, then a lightning spell is completely useless. So it's kind of nice to know, I'll switch out with a heal spell, if there's a dragon, or sometimes even if there's just wizards. That. Yeah, because the witch, that can really screw you over. So it's nice to have a lightning spell, because one lightning spell can kill a max witch. But yeah, it can't completely take out max wizards, and it doesn't really do much to a dragon. So it's I sometimes will put it, because I always do 2 rage, 1 jump, 1 lightning, but I'll sometimes do a heal instead of the lightning if like when they get to the clan castle troops, if there's not a witch in there, I'll just put the heal on my guys and then wait for them to take everybody out.
Well, think about this. Okay, so that guy, he spent a bunch of time taking it out. Now the Lava Hound comes out of your clan castle, your war CC. Mm-hmm. It does 10 damage per second on level 1. Mm-hmm. Would it even be worth engaging if you've got?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, because that's kind of a gamble. Because a barb, a level 6 barb is 110 hit points. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's going to take 6 seconds for a barb.
The issue is, here's the thing:
the troops will attack it.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's just like why it matters in an attack. Same thing with a golem. It only matters in an attack because the defenses are targeting it. And so same thing if you're attacking someone and they have a Lava Hound as a defensive unit in their clan castle, the problem is that your troops always prioritize clan castle troops. Like they'll walk, across. They'll walk, several spaces away from what they're doing in order to engage the clan castle troops.
Golems or the giants.
That's true, or the Barb King, or the. Are you talking about because they
they'll
can't
walk right past them?
Yeah, because they can't. Because they target defenses.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And also, any ground units would ignore the Lava Hound anyway because they can't hit air stuff. But right. I think that's the problem is if your guys are in the middle. Yeah, if your wizards instead of hitting Inferno Towers or Expos, they start hitting the Lava Hound and then the Inferno Towers hit them. I mean, I think that's so just having it as a distraction is almost more, can be more dangerous than having it deal damage. Ooh. But I think overall it's probably not a great defensive clan castle troop because since it doesn't deal damage, like if someone has max wizards and you don't take them out, I mean they can just evaporate your heroes. They can take out your entire army just by themselves, or take out golems and stuff if if they're behind some defenses or something, if they're inside the walls. Some things that do a lot of damage can screw you. But I think the nice thing about Lava Hounds right now is that people don't know what to do. It's that element of surprise, which is why it threw this guy off. Shout out to Jack in my clan. It threw him off because he's like, oh, I've never seen that.
See, that would be, and if anybody in L, especially, so you need a Town Hall 9
to get a Lava Hound.
Get a Lava Hound. That could be a real game changer, even against you get a go wee wee coming in at you. Mm-hmm. The golems are going to go in, but the wizards are going to get stuck for a while your defenses pound them, and same with the witches, and your clan castle troops. Or no, I guess not your clan castle troops, and your heroes though. Mm-hmm. So depending on where they're positioned, it might just be awesome.
Yeah, and that's why dragons end up screwing people over, in the clan castle on defense sometimes, because if they come out and they're in the middle, then they just have so many hit points that it can really throw off the rhythm. And if everybody is targeting them, and then also they do splash damage. So I think the thing about the Lava Hound though is the fact that it doesn't do any damage itself, because max wizards do more damage than most defenses. At least that's what it feels like. They can destroy all your troops so fast with their splash damage. And the thing is it's so unexpected. Some attacks, pretty much any attack that I
want to do
fail is because I don't get 0 stars, but any attack that goes really, really badly, it's because of the clan castle. It's always because of the clan castle. And I'll go back and I'll watch it and be like, oh, I didn't kill the clan castle. My guys were attacking some defense, and I got circled by red wizards, and they just, incinerated my Barb King or this Golem or something, and then left no tank for, the rest of my guys who just got wiped out then by the defenses and stuff. And so, that's the clan castle is such a huge X factor.
I want to do the Lava Hound in the clan castle. Yeah,
try it out. It was definitely. I would be curious to see more. I would be curious to see it when it doesn't get lured, because he happened to use hogs to lure the clan castle in this attack. But if someone is going in and not luring, I would be really curious to see how that
wouldn't really
plays
work
out.
Well if you were hogging somebody. That thing would just follow them around.
Oh, that's true.
10 damage. Totally how long would it take?
That's a good point. Because the clan castle is what really screws the hogs.
475 hit points on a hog on a level 5. It would take 47
it would never kill any of them.
seconds to kill one hog.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because the clan castle is the real bane of the hogs. So that would
probably a slow mover too.
Let me see. He flies really slow.
Yeah, I'll check the movement speed. Movement speed is 20. And movement speed on the hog's 24. That, you know what? It wouldn't have a chance. It wouldn't even get a hit in on a hog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would just be trailing behind them.
Well, I guess they would be, stopping at the defenses. But, it would do 10 damage. And then it would pick a different target. Mm-hmm. And then it would pick... It would... Oh, that would be funny to watch, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would... That's a good idea. If someone had a Lava Hound in their clan castle, they'd be more, easier target for your hogs.
Oh, well,
yeah. Do you want to end this one here and start the next one?
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Text back my staff.
So get a hold of us, clashclanspodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at WBSMT Radio.
At True Son Boaz.
At True Son Boaz. And clashclanspodcast.com if you feel like it. We have a donation button on the website. You like what you hear, you can donate there. So keep it clashy, everybody, and we'll
stay tuned for 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, keep it clashy.
Keep it clashy.
Skilly beep 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 skilly beep.